Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. I've had this Rook 65 rucksack for a few months now, so I thought it was probably about time I gave you some thoughts on it. I got it in the spring and I've now used it a few times. It's been on a couple of my videos of wild camps where typically I've been carrying perhaps 15 or 16 kilos, as I don't do lightweight camping. So yeah, it's probably a good time to give you an idea of what I think about it now, really, having used it for a while. My name's John and I make videos on camping, astronomy and walking. If you like what you see in this video, then please check my channel out, as there may be others that interest you there. But in the meantime, let's crack on with today's video. So the Osprey Rook 65 and the female equivalent, the Wren 65, is Osprey's entry-level backpacking pack, and currently it's retailing for between £110 and £130 depending on where you look. So the jewel in the crown for this pack is this mesh ventilation system. It's a kind of trampoline type setup, and there's all this space between the pack and your back to stop you getting sweaty. The pack has a frame here. It's 4mm. I don't know whether it's alloy or steel, but this is what gives the pack its structure, and it's this that the trampoline mesh back hangs off, and it makes the pack extremely comfortable carrying load. The back length is adjustable as you'd expect on a pack of this type. There are 4 discrete back length adjustments that you can make, which are achieved via a series of 4 loops on either side of the pack, into which are located a couple of hooks. And the back length is adjusted simply by changing the location of the hooks on either side, as I'm showing here. And it's a very simple adjustment with none of the kind of Velcro straps and buckles and things that I've found on previous packs. The sternum straps here are adjustable for 2 heights, just if you find that, you know, one's a bit too close to your throat, for example. The pack comes in just one size. This men's version is adjustable for torso lengths between 43 and 56 centimetres, and the ladies' Wren version has a slightly smaller torso length. This is in contrast to their more expensive packs, which typically come in 2 sizes. There's no zippers around here or here for entry from this surface here. Entry is basically through the top of the bag. And the lid is a fixed lid. It's not one of these floating or removable lids that you get again on some of the more expensive bags. Inside the bag here is space for a hydration bladder of up to, I think, 3 litres in size, and the little hose from the hydration pack would poke through this hole here to come out the back side of the pack. And this red strap here can clip in to hold your load. The lid pocket is zipped, and inside is a little clip for putting your keys on or something like that. And the only thing I have found with this lid is when the pack's loaded up to the gunnels, it's quite a tight fit in here, and it can actually be quite hard to get your hand in and fish stuff out. The plus side of that, of course, is when you zip it open, all your stuff doesn't just come falling out. There are large mesh pockets, one on either side, for holding your water bottles if that's what you want to put in there. And there's actually 2 entry points from the top there, but also from down here. This means that you can put a bottle in this orientation here, and it makes it easier to get it out without taking your pack off. Personally, I don't tend to use these for carrying water bottles, but they hold my poles, for photographic tripods, that kind of thing. And if you are putting poles in the pockets, then these compression straps here and here can be used to help secure them, or equally in my case I'll often put a roll mat or something like that up the side of my bag, and there's quite a lot of adjustment on these. They open up to quite a big diameter and can easily take a foam roll mat or a tent if you want to strap your tent to the side. Each of the hip belts here has a pocket, a zipped pocket, and it's a 3D pocket, so it doesn't go flat when you put the pack on. And this is good for putting things like snacks or your GPS system or something like that in there. The back of the hip belt has a mesh on there, which is good for wicking away sweat. The same thing for the shoulder adjustment straps. There are two straps towards the base of the bag, which can be used again to hold a roll mat or a tent. In my case, I'll often put my tent down here, and there's, again, these things open up quite widely. In common with most bags, there's a lower compartment. Primarily people would put their sleeping bag in here. It's got a dividing layer that's just clipped in. I don't tend to bother with it. I unclip it so it hangs loose and just use the bag as a single compartment. But if you want to use it, it is there. And in a little zipped compartment at the bottom of the bag is a rain cover, which you can just pull out and put over the bag as needed. The material of the pack's quite robust. This is 600 denier here, and I think the base is reinforced to 1000 denier, so it should be all right being dragged around. One thing to note is there's no pocket here for like holding a wet waterproof or a wet tent fly sheet, for example. What they have done is given 3 little loops on either side, with the idea that you could lash across some sort of bungee or elastic cord system if you wanted to. And apparently also, if you've got the Osprey Daylight day pack, this can clip on to these hooks here, which would be handy if you were doing a backpacking trip, you know, one of these 6 months around Australia or something like that, where it'd be handy to have a small day pack and a large main bag. When tightening the hip belts on this pack, you grab hold of the 2 straps here and pull forward, which seems to work really well rather than the pulling outwards method that's used on my existing pack. And I think the load carrying capacity for this pack is supposed to be intended for between 14 and 18 kilograms, which is actually spot on for me. I'm not a lightweight camper at all. I like my luxuries, and I'm typically carrying 15, 16 kilos, occasionally 17. So yeah, this has proved to be very good for me. And the weight of the pack itself is a little bit over 1600 grams, which is quite lightweight as packs go. My existing pack's probably closer to 2 kilograms. So I can carry a bit more beer and wine because of this pack. So what are the pros for this pack then? Well, the first has got to be the price. It's amazing to get Osprey quality for the little bit over £100 mark for a bag of this size. The quality of the zips, the buckles, the straps, all this sort of thing is really, really high. And they've clearly put quite a lot of thought into the bag. As I said at the beginning, the real jewel in the crown for this pack is the trampoline style back mesh thing here, which is really, really comfortable, and it seems to enable you to carry the load really well. It's like it's distributed well. It doesn't feel like it's hanging off your shoulders, so that is really, really good. So in order to hit this lower price point compared to, say, bags like the Atmos, which will be the next one up, that's around £50 or £60 more expensive, a few things have been omitted. There's no dedicated pole loops, but I get around that by using the compression straps and the pockets here. There's no pocket on the back of the pack there for sticking a wet jacket on, but if you really did want that, the little loops that they've provided, you could jury rig something up yourself quite easily. It's top load only, which for me isn't a problem. I've really only ever used top load only packs, but some people might find that a little bit of an issue. So my conclusion really for this bag, it's a really comfortable bag. It's got pretty well all of the features that I want, to be honest. It's obviously had to lose a few features to hit the price point, but for me that's not an issue. I'd rather save the 50 quid and spend it on something else. It's a massive step up on the other bags that I've been using, and I think at the kind of £100 mark it probably does stand up to competition really well. So yeah, I'm extremely chuffed with it. So I hope if you're thinking about buying this bag, this video has been useful and shown you some of the things you're going to get for the money and some of the things that you aren't. And so that said, I will bid you cheerio and I shall see you next time.